never before has anyone witnessed such beauty. Such beauty.
Hey syntheads, today we're going to be talking about workflow in the studio. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone, and this is my channel where I talk about synthesizers, I demo them, I review them, and I make electronica music. And it's all about fun. So if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, do so now. Please tap that bell so you can keep up to date with all of my synth adventures. And let's get into the video. Well, welcome back, and we are talking today about workflow in the studio. Now, I can't talk about what works best for you. I can only talk about what works for me, and I gotta tell you something, it cost me some money because I made a lot of mistakes on the way, and I'm hoping that I can save you from that if you're just starting out in your own studio adventures. The first and foremost thing that you are going to need to plan out for a workflow, at least what I had to do, was a interface / mixer. Now, I like to jam out and do videos, and they are my scratch pads, okay? And what I like when I do that is to have every single one of my synthesizers on their own channel. I have a Studio Live 32. And it's by Personas, and it has 32 connections, and as you can tell, I have more than 32 connections that are needed if you were to count the stereo outs and some of these synthesizers. I have a secondary mixer here, the Roland MX1. And so let me explain what I got going on here. I have, at present, 3 synthesizers that I dedicate to leads in my tracks. And these 3 synthesizers go into my Roland MX1. I have a DRM1, okay, by Vermona. I also have a Drum Brute by Arturia. I have the Roland TR8. And then I have the Novation drum station down in here. I also have the Korg Volca Beats, and they're all mixed into this little mixer back here. And what they do is they go into one input over here. Now, I think the drums should all be on one track, and I record them in mono. Then over here, I have 2 synthesizers that are dedicated to bass, and that is the Roland SY22, and I have the Volca bass down here. And they also go into this same little mini mixer right over here, and I channel them into their own separate input channel. So they're mixed together in the mini mixer and then put into there. So that's my workflow for the bass and for the drums, okay? And then all these other synthesizers have their own dedicated channels. My workflow is in such that I can lay down a track, okay, on any one of these synthesizers, have it recorded in real time, and I can have all of these go in at the same time, bring it back to the computer and work on it, and I can take elements out, I can add stuff in, I can EQ separate tracks one another, and it's all because of the input source. So the workflow all starts with a great mixer. If you have to stop to unhook a synthesizer and hook up another one because you don't have enough hookups, been there, done that, you could lose the creative flow, okay? So you want to make sure that everything is hooked up, ready to play, and you don't have something sitting in the corner being unused. Which leads me to space. Space is a very important aspect of workflow, okay? If you don't have enough space, it doesn't matter how many hookups you have on your interface, you're not going to be able to use your synthesizer in the proper workflow that fits your needs. And so you have to make sure that you have enough space. And I always tell people to go up, okay, to a certain point before you go left and right, side to side. Because you can stack synthesizers. I have 3 right here. I don't know how well this is picking up on that camera, but I have the Roland JDXI, I have the Prophet 6, and I have the OB6 3 right here. I also have 3 units here, and then I've got rack units. So I'm trying to go up as much as possible. I have 2 keyboards stacked here, and I have 3 over here. I have a whole bunch of stuff that you can't see on this table right here in front of me. I have 3 over here. Then I have my mixer board over to the side, which isn't very convenient for me right now, but it's a necessary evil because I don't have the space. And that was the only compromise that I had to make, other than I would have to say I have a Prophet 6 that's kind of out of reach over there, but it is hooked up, it's fully functional, ready to record. You gotta have space, and that's probably the hardest thing to figure out because you're very limited as to what your options are going to be. And I would tell people that if you're a synth head and you absolutely want to do this for the rest of your life, do whatever you got to do, but make it happen, okay? Plan for this to be in your life. So basically, to sum it all up, my workflow is all of my synthesizers are fed into my PreSonus Studio Live 32. Everything comes out on a separate track. When you have a good interface, you have a good workflow because you have lots of options. So what you want to do with your workflow is you want to create as many options available to yourself as possible. Your workflow is as important as the synthesizers that you choose. You have to make decisions up front and plan this out. Are you going to make mistakes? Absolutely. You're only a fool if you don't learn from the mistakes that you've made. So that's my workflow, and I hope that it helps you out knowing a little bit more about what I do and how I do it. And if you have a different workflow, or if you have any tips whatsoever that can help somebody, share them in the comments below. We would all love to hear from you. If you have not hit that subscribe button yet, do so, because it encourages me to continue these synth adventures with you. Also, the track that you heard and will be hearing here in a moment, that is one of my finished tracks. You can go to my website, pureambientdrone.com, and check out all of my music that I have done. I'm Pure Ambient Drone. Until next time, cheers.
Just look at it.